Welcome back to Kids Planning. I'm Daniel. This is Allison.
And today we're asking the question, can kids play Bantam West?
So Bantam West is a new game on Kickstarter from designer Ike Brunicardi and Bantam Planet, who helped sponsor this video. Bantam West is an open world sandbox Western themed game. If you're not familiar with sandbox games, it just basically means you can do whatever you want. There's not a linear path to victory.
Yeah, I didn't know what sandbox was, and so Jerry described it as like Minecraft, where you can do any goals you want, where you want, when you want to win the game.
Yeah, there's a bunch of options of actions you can take during your turn, but there's not, everyone is achieving victory in their own unique way, however they want to do it. You might collect resources and sell them. You might be someone who goes and attacks other people and steals their stuff. You have checklists that you can do to, like this one, kill a predator, buy an entry tool, breach a cabin, build a cabin, win a fight as a defender, things like that. All of those are going to gain you notoriety,
which are points.
Which is the point system in the game. Depending on how long you want the game to be, you can play to 3 points. You could play to 10 points. You can play up to 20 points. Mm-hmm. 20 points is probably going to be a 2 or 3 hour, maybe longer game. Full disclosure, because I know this looks like a really complex game that, like, why would you even ask if kids can play it? It's obviously a big game. Jared kicked our tails the first game. He picked this game. He's 11. He picked up this game so fast,
and did it so well.
Yes. So
we'll touch more on what he did during the strategy and the complexity, but
kids playing this game
is not out of the question.
So we're going to go through our normal can kids play stuff, but this is going to be a little bit different because I know a lot of the questions, especially on the complexity and how the game plays, are questions that I would have as an adult as to whether or not I want to take on this game. So
I've never played a sandbox game on the table before. Like, I've played video games that are that type of style, but actually on the table, and I honestly wasn't sure what I would think. So I was very impressed.
Yeah. So we're going to go through all of the North theme and artwork, language, dependence, memory, all of that. And then we're going to spend a good bit of time on complexity because, again, that's where I feel like the biggest questions are going to be as to how it plays, how complicated it is. So we'll leave time codes to each of those elements below. So if you just want to jump to complexity, you can do that. We'll leave those in the description. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the theme and artwork of the game.
Yes, the theme and artwork. This is a Western game. So with that, you're going to have things that go in with a Western game. So you've got, you have a saloon. And you've got your stables and your shop, which is her outpost. And then you've got your game shop, the gunsmith. So you've got guns and things like that. Yeah,
there's shooting. You get into gunfights. You get into fist fights. You go to the saloon and you fight. It's a Western. There's a lot of confrontation. You are attacking other people. You're fighting bandits. You're fighting animals. There is Western violence in the game.
Right. There's not really much gore. You have you didn't bring them with us, but there's little tokens that you didn't bring them with us. There's little tokens that have like a little red splot. That's the
there's blood. They look like this. There's blood on the cards, just blood splatter. Again, it's Western, and the theme, the artwork, all of that plays into that Western theme really well.
Yes, it does.
Again, the point of this is not how good is the artwork, it's how does it play for kids and just for that. But the artwork is really good. It's really immersive. It's very well done. Yes, it is a beautiful game.
Just on the beauty, you've got your horses your mounts that you get, but you can also buy saddles. And the art just lay it on there, and it
lines up seamlessly.
It lines up so well. And then you got your player cards here that turn over. The iconography plays in well with this is your character, and then this is how you set up your tableau.
Yeah. Now, as far
there's a few, I was gonna say there's like some skulls and things like that. There's also a few event cards that Daniel you pulled out that might just maybe have a little bit of questionable stuff for younger kids.
There is a cultist character as you get farther into the game. Now, none of that plays into like cultist rituals. You're not participating in rituals, anything like that. But the terminology of cults is there. You have event cards that these are the ones that just stuck out to me as something that we should just at least make aware of.
There's a giant stack of event cards.
There's a huge stack of event cards.
So these are the only ones that
stuck out.
Yeah.
So again, you have the cultist encounter, and you have a guy here with a torch. You have the cult coming to get you in the night kind of thing. Again, that's just in the artwork. It's not actually playing out in the game.
The next one.
This is the drunken stupor. Again,
right.
There is alcohol. You drank too much at the bar, things like that.
Yes,
so,
you've been drowning your sorrows. What does it say?
You've been drowning your sorrows and hitting the bottle a bit too hard. You have the ambush card where there's people attacking you. You have the war relic that's a skeleton. You have people in coffins, and then you have dysentery. You have a
sick person.
Yeah, a sick person in a bed. As far as the artwork and the event cards and stuff, those are the only ones that stuck out to me as even just questionable. Now, you have a saloon with some ladies in it.
The ladies are there, but it doesn't ever. They're just on this card. You're not doing anything with the ladies. You're not taking them upstairs. There's nothing like that.
There's no promiscuity, anything like that, or even suggestive cards in there. Again, there are things in the cards. There's some artwork that's a little bit harsh. There's nothing just blatantly offensive, anything like that. At least nothing that sticks out to us. Now, as far as the violence,
you can't get away from that.
Yeah, you get into shootouts. You attack other people. You are collecting heads, mostly animals, but also bandits that you can then come back and sell to Rita for money.
And in the advanced, you could mount those heads.
Yes. So that is, you are collecting heads of people that you attack and kill. If you're playing against another player, you never actually kill them. You send them to the doctor. You kill the bandits and the animals. As far as fighting goes, it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic. If you've played Unmatched, the fighting is the same way. When there's a fight between two people, they draw 4 cards, they pick one, they secretly put it on the table, and then you flip it over at the same time. But the artwork is it's all fun. Icon driven. There's no narrative to the fighting. There's no, you shot him and there was blood out on the ground, anything like that. It is all very tame and very tasteful as far as the violence in the game goes, but there is violence inherent in the Western theme. Again, shootouts, bar fights, things like that.
It does feel like you are there in the game.
So yeah, it's a Western. There's a lot of stuff that comes along with being a Western. That's stuff just to be aware of, but none of it really felt too harsh to me.
No, I didn't feel like I did. And neither Jared didn't feel like it at all either. So the next one we're going to go to is language dependence. There is language dependence in this game. There's iconography that works really well, but every card has its own flavor text that it's fun to read out loud.
Yeah, all of the event cards. There's no language in the fighting. The fighting is all icons.
That's true.
Everything you do on the board is icons. The event cards, that's upside down. The event cards have language on them. You have your achievement cards that have language on them.
I mean, like paragraphs.
Yeah,
so it's not just like a few sentences. It's read this paragraph. And it really helps with the immersiveness of the game. But it is very important to the game to be able to read. So there is language dependence there.
But it's also public information. The event card, the first thing you do is read it out loud to everybody. So while there is language dependence, and obviously you have to read the book, read the rules, things like that, it's public information. If you have a struggling reader who can handle everything else, I think you could get around the language dependence.
That's true. I mean, it is still a prototype, so there may be some situations where there'll be some private cards or some secret cards in the game, but currently, as it is right now, what we have, there isn't any of that. So yeah, everything is public information.
Yep. As far as memory, there is no ongoing memory between turns. Everything is out there in the open. There's no like secret tiles that you're going to turn over, get to peek at, and have to remember for the rest of the game. There's none of that. You have access to everything you need to play.
Yeah.
So memory, not really. Math, counting money.
Yeah, it's money management, and then just turns, just counting, because every grit, which is you have 4 grit, you can move 3 spaces. So it's just counting those, and that's really it. It's just basic. Yeah, as far as money, I don't see any one player having more than 30 coins at a time. And
even if you do, you're not spending those in large chunks.
Yeah. So it's just minute adding.
Yeah, there's basic, and needing to know, okay, I'm going to gain this resource. I'm going to go back and sell it. Is that going to get me enough to do what I need to do? That kind of thing. But it's just basic math, addition, subtraction, money management kind of thing.
And then downtime. There really isn't any downtime. Because you need to pay attention to what everyone else is doing.
Yes, you need to. There is technically downtime.
Yeah.
Like there's time between turns, but you need to watch what the other players are doing in the game. There is,
as an example, I got up, I did my turn, and then I got up to go let the dogs outside. I came back, and Jared was sitting there twiddling his thumbs waiting because he was, like, fighting me.
Yeah, he had decided while she was gone that he was going to track her down, fight her, steal the bear head that she had gotten her last turn.
Yeah, he wanted to take it and sell it, but he had to loot it from me, so he had to fight me. And it was like, okay. And then the next turn.
Two turns later, I went to let the dogs back in, and Jared won the game in the 30 seconds that I was gone.
He opened the door. He was like, I won.
Yeah.
I was like,
so
you need to pay attention.
Yeah. So a lot happens in between turns. You need to react to what other players are doing. So there's not just I've done my turn, and now I'm just going to wait and twiddle my thumbs and not pay attention to anything in between turns. It is very immersive. It is very engaging. There's a good chance you'll get attacked by somebody possibly during their turn. So again, there technically is downtime, but you need to pay attention to what other players are doing. So that makes the downtime feel less because you're still engaged in the game.
Yeah.
As far as confrontation, yes.
Yes.
You're attacking other people, you're stealing from them, you're burning down their cabins, you're looting stuff that other players have. There is confrontation. There's no getting around it. If you don't confront people in the game, it's going to be...
You're not going to win.
You might.
Maybe.
It's probably not going to be as fun. It's going to be hard to get through this game without confrontation.
Mm-hmm. And as for scoring and winning, depending on what you set your notoriety point to, your goal, depending on the game, because you can do 3, 5, up to 20.
Yeah.
Just if you've reached that, then you win, and you track that here. So yeah, it's very straightforward. A winner is a winner. I think there is a tiebreaker, but other than that, it's not adding points.
If you tie, there's a bar fight.
Yeah.
That's how you determine.
But you're not like calculating points at the end of the game and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's no victory
winning
points.
Of the notoriety point goal is what ends
yes,
the game.
The whole point of the game is to reach the notoriety that you determine. Again, you determine what you're playing to determine how long the game is going to be. Yep. A 3 notoriety, which is the first game, or the kind of tutorial game you play to 3, is maybe a 30 to 60 minute game. A 20 notoriety game could be 3 or 4 hours, depending on just how...
We've not played up to 20, but
yeah,
that'll be a longer game.
But that's going to be a longer game. And that kind of leads us into complexity because there is so much that you can do in this game. Again, the basic turn breakdown is you are spending grit. Grit is just basically your turn counters, your action counters. So you start with 4 grit. You spend grit in order to do actions, and your actions and you have this entire list of things you can do. You can move, you can collect resources, you can spend an action to gain back willpower, which lets you redo rolls of the dice.
You do have to spend a grit to get rid of resources, which I found interesting.
Yeah, so that you don't just stockpile stuff. You can buy and sell, you can use an item, you can build a cabin, you can collect resources, you can fight, you can burn down someone else's cabin, you can break into a cabin, you can loot, you can recruit other riders, you can mount heads over here in the saloon that you get money for them and you get stuff for that. You can deposit money in the bank and you can attempt a bank heist. All of those are things that you can do on your turn, again, assuming you have the resources and abilities to do them.
Right.
But again, it's a sandbox game. It is an open world. There is not a linear path to victory. However you choose to get your notoriety, that's how you're going to get there. You can, in a shorter game, everyone has a checklist.
Which they're different.
Yeah, they're different, and there's 2 sides. There's 2 cards and a complete checklist.
Like a book.
Yes, and this is one of the changes that has been made since we had the game, is they changed it from everyone has the same checklist to everyone has different checklists that change, so that you're not just trying to do the same thing every game. But if
the replayability in this, sorry, I interrupted you again. The replayability in this is very, because there's just so much you can do. You play it differently every time. You've got different goals. You can switch up your characters. The replayability is nuts, but I think that is fairly common in a sandbox game where you don't really,
because it's different. Again, you're not going on the same linear path to victory.
Right.
So you can, in the first game, and the way this game is set up is you have 4 different terrain tiles. These are
all separate, by the way.
They're all separate. We have it kind of compacted on the table. We actually only have 1 player mat set up. Mm-hmm. Every player has their player mat. It's a very table heavy game. It's very intimidating to look at because it looks just overwhelming and all the stuff that you could possibly do and that big list of actions you can take. But really, once you get going, it does flow. It flows really well, and it picks up, like you pick up the game really quickly. It was surprising how, again, once we had read the rules, once we got into it and started playing, how quickly we picked up the actions.
Well, Jared picked it up faster than me on a personal, for me.
And than me. Like he picked it up really quick.
And we play a lot of games. So when you say that you pick it up fairly quickly, I'm a hands-on learner, so I learn by playing the game. And those that are like that, it does playing that first game of just having, what was it, these three on the table.
In the first game, and that goes in, the rules are really well, and the rules take you through. Basically, the first set of rules is for your first game, which is really a tutorial game, where instead of playing with 4 terrain tiles, you play with 2 and the town square. Yeah. The only way to earn notoriety in those is with your checklist.
You don't have the events.
Yeah,
having that was very important for me as a hands-on learner to understand the game. I'm very, very appreciative of having that versus just like, here's the game, go.
Yeah, and in the first game, the only way you can gain notoriety is through your checklist. So really what you need to do in your first game is look at your checklist, find one of those things that you want to do, and figure out how to do it, versus looking at it and saying, what can I do? You look at it and say, okay, kill a predator. Where's a predator? Let me go find a predator and fight it and kill it. That kind of thing. So that first game really does a good job of teaching you the mechanics. You can go, again, you just explore, figure out if you have enough moves to get over to a predator and fight that predator. Kill it, take the head back, sell it to Rita for some money, that kind of thing.
Or go to the doctor because you've just been injured.
Yes. So in game 1, the only way you can earn notoriety is through your checklist. As you go through, and game 2 introduces events, and it introduces all of the terrain tiles. And then game 3, I think, introduces these other achievements, and it builds on itself. If you go through the rule book, you have the initial set of pages that is all for the first game, and then you go through the advanced technical guide or the advanced technical manual. So
this is still a prototype.
Yeah, in each of these is a different type of game that adds something to the game before it. So by the end, you have slowly added everything to the game, which I love so much more than here's all the stuff, figure out how to play it. It doesn't really overwhelm you. Again, only being able to use your checklists in order to gain points that first game took away the overwhelming, how am I going to get those 3 points? It just did a really good job of making a fairly complex open world game really straightforward. And then in game 2, you add the event cards anytime you cross into a new terrain tile, just once per turn. You draw an event card, you read it out loud, things like that. But it did a really good job of simplifying. Again, reading the rules was a little overwhelming. And even in the new iterations of the rule book that we have gotten since we got the game, it simplified the rules. It made it more straightforward. Yeah. It made it a lot easier to understand. So,
and each individual, we've got your whole checklist, which is, how many are on there? 10?
Yeah.
Each one of those is very simple.
Yeah.
Very easy to understand. But if you look at the whole thing, it can feel a little overwhelming. But each thing that you can do is very simple, just moving across the board and stuff like that. So you can build your own strategy, and depending on your player and what you're able to do,
It is, and it's not going to be
but
a
it's
game
built on small.
Yeah, you're not going to be great at it the first game. It takes multiple plays to really be comfortable. And again, each time you play, at least the first few games, you're going to be adding something to the game. Which again, I love how they did that. I think for having not played a sandbox game like this before, not played an open world game like this before, it did a really good job of minimizing that, like, just analysis paralysis. I'll put it that way, of saying, okay, I need to fight a predator. Let me go find a predator. Let me fight it.
Right.
Okay, I've done that. In the process of that, I learned how to fight. I learned how to move. I learned how to move between terrain tiles. Now I need to go sell that animal head to Rita. So now I have to figure out how to do that. So the checklists give you a set of tasks that you can just look at, see, okay, this is my end goal. Now all I have to do is figure out how to get to that goal. I don't have to figure out what the goal is. And then as you play through the game, you're going to get more and more things. And you're going to get these achievement cards where you have the bank where you can store up to 3 sets of $5. Each time you deposit money in the bank and you get up to $5, you get notoriety for that. And there's a big stack of points. I believe there's a big stack of these, and everyone I believe has 4 or 5 that are unique to their character. So as you go through the game, there become more ways to score that notoriety, to win the game and to create strategy. So complexity, it's there.
It's there. I think you feel like there's more there. Or It feels overwhelming, and then once you understand what's going on, the complexity level lowers because it's like, oh, that's what's going on. And I think most games are like that. But
and I feel like they could have made this game much less accessible by saying, here's all the stuff, here's the rules, play to 20, have fun. That would have made this a very intimidating and probably not fun first experience. The way that they did it, though, our first experience was really fun. It was learning. We were figuring out how to play, but it was enjoyable because it wasn't, once we knew kind of how the actions went, it wasn't overwhelming for us. It may be a little overwhelming for you, but once you get into it, I think the individual actions are all pretty simple. The fighting is simple. The harvesting things is simple. The foraging and collecting resources is simple. It's all done through dice rolls. So all of those individual things are simple. You just, as you go along, develop a strategy as to how you're going to win.
Yep. And that first game, the first few games as you're building up, it is a bit of hand holding, but it doesn't feel like that while you're playing the game. You feel like you're playing the game, and then each time you just add to it. Yeah. So
And Ian, whether you're playing a 5-point game or a 20-point game is also going to impact the strategy you use.
That's true, yeah.
If you have 20 points where you can level up and buy horses and add riders to your team, do things like
build
that,
cabins, store things there, that type.
There's level up your ability to forage and to collect resources. All of those things are going to take a long time to develop, but by the end of the game, you may be able to build notoriety a lot faster than someone who's just going for those one-off achievements.
It's like building your own engine, and letting that just take on.
So there is a lot of options, especially in the longer games, but I think it does a really good job for as complex as it is. And this is an opinion, and it's going to be different for people that play different games and just have different skill sets. But it does a very good job, I feel like, in the way that it handles the tutorial game and each game after that, of slowly adding elements to the game instead of just giving you an onslaught of, here's all the stuff, good luck figuring it out and making a strategy.
Yeah. Now, what you see here isn't even everything in the box. There's more resources. We didn't even go into the mining and the hunting and that type of thing. But none of that.
This wasn't a how to play.
No, this is not how. This is, can kids play? Would you like to play? That type of thing. This is not a tutorial. So we just wanted to touch on those elements. And we only have so much table space on this prop table.
Our camera can only go up so high to grab all the stuff. Again, it's a good game. It's a well done game that, for as much as there is going on, does not overwhelm you, does not create that just analysis paralysis where it's just so overwhelming that it's not fun. Now, it's going to take a few games to get comfortable with it. It's going to take a few games to feel like you're good at it and you can create a comprehensive strategy. That's just a given with any game of this size and this scope. But it's not, at least for us, was not overwhelming in our playthrough of it. Again, Jared picked it up in like 10 minutes and just
slaughtered us.
just dominated the game. I think I might have gotten 1 point. He got his 3 points.
I got 2 points. But he got that third one.
Yeah, he immediately looked at his card, developed a strategy, figured out how to do it. Again, the only reason he didn't win on turn 2 is because we both ganged up on him and forced him to take an extra turn. So this game is on Kickstarter right now. We will leave a link in the description below. Go check it out. Look at all the other reviews, all the other content on it. See if you think it's a good fit for you. Hopefully this was helpful and just kind of an overview of the complexity of a game that looks pretty overwhelming just at first glance. Now, again, this is a prototype. Things are going to change in this between now and when it actually gets to you. But as for prototypes, it is a very well-developed prototype. And it is one that I know they are constantly tweaking to make it more playable, to make it run smoother. I've been very impressed by that aspect of it, just by how much they've communicated and how much they have been showing an intention to make the game better and not just put it out there as is. So again, we'll leave a link to the Kickstarter below. While you're down there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right there.
We have a couple other videos that you can check out right over here, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.